All right, this is Orff. All right, how'd you feel about it, Cameron?
The flute, bringing in the flute was a little off.
Yeah, it was only because I think she was unsure of when to play. I was unsure of when she should play too, because you kept moving before you actually gave her the cue. So anytime, everyone look back here for a second, when you do bop, 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 freeze, then the next movement you make has to be 2 and 1. You can't do any sort of readjusting, otherwise you might spook the flute player and she'll think she needs to come in early. Okay? So just make sure you do that. Can you start right on zut, dut, 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 last 2 bars before the flute solo? Was that better for you, Nikki? Yes. Ensemble, if you had to play the flute solo, could you have followed? Yeah, much better. The one thing that is a little disconcerting, and it kind of was throughout, you look like you have a death grip on your baton, and that you're like this to the ensemble. Like you're bad ensemble, bad, bad, bad. And I think, yeah, so can you just lighten up your wrist a little? Oh, hey, Cameron's wrist makes an appearance this morning. There you go. Good. So if you can just lighten up the wrist and just be playful with it, because this is playful music, right? This is not music. All right, one other thing about the beginning. How much energy is it going to take for the full orchestra to play fortissimo? Fortissimo. A lot of energy from you and from them in the breath. And you gave us, can you give us a boom, just to the intro? Still not enough energy. Remember, the preparatory initiation can really help you with the attack of the first note. So if you want that accented, as it's marked, then give a flick before you begin up, because you're going boom, and it's too late. Try it again. Can you just do a little more? Just turn your hand over for a second. Does this look more inviting to you? Better?
Yes.
Yeah, because you look like you're, okay. There you go. Now try. Yes! Now his arms looked great that time, didn't they? We didn't believe your breath, though, and your face. Just do the make that sound. Here we go. Yeah. Did you see his face? Can you make that face when you take a breath? Boom. Did you hear their sound? Did you hear your sound? It was totally different. Totally different. And all he did was make a face. Yeah, so watch the video camera. You'll see a big difference there. Let's go on. Good job, Cameron. Good score knowledge. Up a little bit, Cameron. There you go. So pretty good start to it. Still the same idea though with the breathing and the sound of that first note. Full brass section of an orchestra, forte or fortissimo. It's going to be pretty strong. So work on putting that in for next time too. We won't work on it since we already did it on the last piece. All right, so everybody, you have to make sure you're good with, look back here, beedle-a-dum, 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 buddle-a-dum, buddle-a-dum, horns, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They actually, the horns started a bar late because that's what you showed them, and everyone followed them. So you added a measure to the piece. Well done, horns. Everyone followed you because you played with conviction. All right, so make sure that you know exactly where that is because you don't feel like, it doesn't feel like you know. I mean, you're like this. Am I going to get it? Am I going to get it? Yeah, so just make sure you get it in your head. Sing it over and over again, everybody, in your head. All right, can you do the beginning of this, and I want you just to use your wrist. You can use your whole arm for the first downbeat because it takes a lot of energy to put anything in motion. Once it's in motion, you can just wrist. Okay? Both hands. Big. There you go. One, two, three. How's that?
That's a lot better.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, but you ended up getting it as I was counting for you from the back. So you'll work on that. But how did you guys feel about his wrists in the opening section? Bueller. Hello. Tell him. Use your words, everyone. You're nodding. Use your words.
It was a lot better, I think.
How?
I didn't feel as, and I have this tendency too to really and micromanage, and I didn't feel that way when you did.
And the music is pretty light here. After bum 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 bum, and then so if you're like this on that, it's just not, you're not going to catch the flavor that you want. So that was much, much better. So work on that middle section, okay? The other thing at the end, ba-da-dee-dum, you might consider going to one hand. I don't think you need to mirror that whole thing when you're trading back the strings, woodwinds, strings thing. Okay, so work on that. Good, let's go to Haydn. Cameron?
The tempo, I thought was pretty consistent, even for the beginning.
Your first two measures were faster than the rest of the introduction. So just kind of be aware that the bum, bum was much faster than once you got to bar 3. Okay, so just check that on the videotape. Okay, what else did you feel?
I mean, I didn't really, the score study, I'm not as familiar. I didn't really know where the cards came from much. I just know based on what I've heard from.
Right. Did you guys feel that as well? Yeah, so there are solos in here. First violin. So, beam, bum, ba-dum, be-da-dum, bum. That's a pretty important part. There's a flute solo, a bassoon solo over here. Right, so just make sure that you've studied the score and that you are making connections with people. Because right now you're doing a really nice subdivided 4/4 and really not much else. You're keeping the tempo, the style is good in your wrist. I mean, all that stuff is fine, but there's just no interaction with the ensemble. So they're not even watching you. Okay, so just make sure you're up on that for the next time. Okay, good, Cameron, thanks.